the station that's on your side. News 12, first at 5, continues.
But we've got some storms popping up across our area this evening and more on the way tomorrow.
Yeah, and these storms could be severe, which is not what we like to hear. First Alert Chief Meteorologist Riley Hale is live in our weather center. And Riley, where is this rain heading as we go throughout the evening?
Well, guys, we're looking at it impacting the northwest about 10 minutes.
All right, thanks, Riley. 6 are in custody and facing charges after a fight at Aiken High School today. It happened around 1 o'clock this afternoon after authorities say a fight broke out in the cafeteria and then it spilled outside. Now, despite rumors, police say there were no guns or knives involved in the fight. All injuries, they say, were minor. Now, they do say there was a knife found near the fight, but police say that knife was not used in the fight. Aiken County Public Safety says the 6 students are charged with misdemeanor affray. Police also say more charges could come later.
And over in Burt County, over the past few days, a number of fights have been reported at Burt County High School. You're looking at video sent to us by a viewer here. In response today, the superintendent sending out a letter to parents today after several fights inside Burt County High School. One parent says this violence is nothing new in Burt County schools.
We actually made a decision to remove our children from Burt County High School about a year and a half ago. Due to the violence.
And the Burt County superintendent also saying that the students involved in the fights have been removed from the school pending a disciplinary tribunal, and criminal charges are being pursued where appropriate. All new tonight on News 12 at 6 o'clock, our Taylor Martin will have the latest on this story and how students are reacting.
The latest crime statistics show shootings during the summer in Augusta are on the rise, causing a concern for community members. Since May, there have been 80 shootings so far, leaving 3 15-year-olds dead. Well, coming up on News 12 at 6 o'clock, our Hallie Turner takes a closer look at the impact this trend is having on our community.
Columbia County buses are now taking students back home from the first day of school, and this year there's some changes to how the school buses work. The goal is to help make the process of riding the bus easier for students and, of course, the parents.
Our Nick Veland breaks down how this new system works.
A growing county means more bus routes, and that's what the district is seeing going into this upcoming school year. They even opted to add more routes after open house. Now, after a summer of planning, a lot of moving parts are about to play out. The Columbia County School District is simplifying their school bus route numbering system. Each bus will either get a single or double-digit number so students can remember what bus they're on. Even if a bus breaks down and another needs to fill in, the bus number can be changed so everyone is on the same page. Elementary schools have tags for their kids so drivers know that the students are on their bus and are where they're needed to be. The county's transportation department says they're doing all of this to make sure that students can get to and from school.
Safety's number one. That's our most important job, is to transport students safely to and from. And please be patient at startup with our drivers for everyone to get acclimated to the routes, as well as the children to get acclimated to where they belong.
There's also an app that tracks your student's bus, and we'll have more on this and safety measures for kids returning coming up all new on News 12 at 6 o'clock. In Columbia County, Nick Veland on your side.
In Saluda County, students went back to school yesterday, and here's a look at some of their happy faces. See, they look like they're excited to go back to school. We've been seeing lots of happy faces on Facebook this week as parents are sharing those back-to-school photos. And that back-to-school train does not stop there. Wilkes County students start tomorrow. Orangeburg, Barnwell, and the rest of Richmond County schools head back next week. For a full list of dates, you can go to our website, wrdw.com.
And school is back in session for millions of Georgians, with more schools in our area starting next week. That means buses are back on the roads. This morning, state officials reminding all of the drivers to be aware of the buses and their precious cargo.
Reporter Abby Kasoris breaks down the penalties all drivers could face for not following the rules of the road when around a stopped school bus.
If you don't stop after seeing this flashing stop sign, a fine of $250 might show up in your mailbox because of a camera watching out for drivers breaking the law. Georgia is one of the first states to require that school buses should have stop-arm cameras.
I urge every Georgian to stay alert, brush up on the law regarding passing stop buses, and remember that doing the right thing and following those laws could save a child's life.
Mike Sanders works
Today's
on
school
people
buses are built
transportation for
safer.
the Georgia Department of Education. According to a poll, in just one day, the state's bus drivers reported more than 7,800 people passed a bus illegally.
We don't want those illegal passes to lead in some tragedy.
From 2000 to 2021, there were 53 people killed after crashes involving a driver illegally passing a school bus. Nearly half were school-aged. Statistically, school buses are the safest way for your child to get to and from school. The national studies show that the most dangerous time is when they're getting on and off of a school bus. This video shows instances where a driver did not stop and a child almost got hit. Georgia bus drivers transport more than 1.6 million students, more than 770,000 miles each day.
And that's scary.
State officials are urging parents to talk to their children, maybe do a run-through. That way they know the rules of the road and how to navigate school zones safely. In Atlanta, I'm Abby Kasoris.
Thanks, Abby. And in Aiken County, an important reminder here, tomorrow is the last day of early voting for the Republican primary for Aiken's mayoral race. Since there is no Democratic competitor, everybody can vote in this primary, no matter your party. Polling will close tomorrow at 4 p.m. and the primary will be next Tuesday. The winner of this primary will be uncontested in November's election.
A 10-year-old boy is about to have the night of his life tonight. Just ahead, how he's joining his favorite baseball team.
And we are tracking a strong line of thunderstorms moving through the northern CSRA, getting closer towards us here in Augusta. We'll have that update just after the break. Seasonal, we'll see those highs back into the low and mid-90s, and the chance for storms looks to be isolated both days this weekend.
All right, thank you, Riley. You might think you're a fan of a sports team, but one 10-year-old boy from Massachusetts, he's taking things to the next level.
Oh, he goes by Swaggy, and tonight his biggest dream is coming true. He gets to be a member of the Savannah Bananas baseball team. Tyler Carmona has the story.
It isn't about financial means, it's about showing that you're way more than what your diagnosis is. And I mean, it's only been like 36 hours and it's been epic.
The 10-year-old became a fan of the Bananas when he saw some of the team's videos that went viral on TikTok. When he had the chance to live out a dream through the Make-A-Wish Foundation, he asked to be a Savannah Banana for a day. That wish will be honored on Thursday night. Before the big game, Swaggy met with some of the members of the team to sign his contract.
We heard a lot about Swaggy and his dance moves. We can't wait to see it.
Swaggy's neurological disorder forces him to wear a cap and sunglasses most of the time, since he's very sensitive to light. He got his nickname Swaggy at a youth soccer practice. While some teammates teased him for his cap and sunglasses, a kind girl on his team insisted that the accessories gave him swagger. After that, it became his permanent nickname.
He was like, can you call me Swaggy? And then it stuck and people only call him Swaggy now.
Although he'll only be on the field for one game, his future teammates feel honored. He even got to sign some autographs.
For kids like him to want to meet us, it means a world to us. Really gives you a good perspective on what we do and what we're trying to do for the game.
Swaggy plans to make the most of his opportunity. He even has a dance plan if he hits a home run.
Yeah, it's funny.
It's awesome. Swaggy's wish will come true at Grayson Stadium in Savannah tonight at 7 o'clock. I think it's a perfect name for the Savannah Bananas team. Swaggy.
Yeah, there you
That's pretty
go.
cool.
And I love that he's from Massachusetts, and he found him in Savannah on
They're big
TikTok.
now. Savannah Bananas have gotten so big now.
Yeah.
That's pretty cool there. Well, after 2 weeks of voting, we now know the name of Riverbank Zoo's Harbor Seal pup. The zoo gave us 4 names to choose from: Mirabelle, Bonnie, Piper, and Scout. And with more than 1,000-vote lead, Piper won.
Oh, look at that face. I mean, you can see the picture up there, but you're actually looking at Piper and her mother, Riley, a female Riley, courtesy of the Riverbank Zoo. We like that name, though. Piper is set to make her public appearance, though, in a few weeks, but
It's a good name.
You
I
can
like that
watch
one
it there.
too. Swaggy and Piper. We got a lot of good names going
Swaggy,
here. We're on a
Piper.
roll.
There you go.
It's pretty cool.
So you think you've got a pretty good handle on everything an iPhone can do? Probably not. I'm Jamie Tucker, coming up with a few tips and tricks only power users know.
First alert radar. Sausage! Zaxby's!
If you have an iPhone, you may think you know most of the little tricks to get the most out of your device, but do you know all of them?
No, I know I don't. Our consumer tech reporter Jamie Tucker, though, has a few tips and tricks you probably didn't know your phone could do.
These are tips and tricks even geeks like me are just finding out about. Apple didn't make a big deal about them. So let's see if you've used them.
Ever needed to mark up a photo or note to bring attention to something? In iOS 16, the iPhone will turn your lousy shapes into perfect ones. Just draw a circle on a photo, screenshot, or a note, and hold your finger down for a second. You can use this trick to draw perfect squares, triangles, octagons, and other shapes. Don't have time to respond to a text you've already read? Swipe right and tap on this blue bubble to mark it as unread. Send a text you wish you hadn't. You have a few seconds to unsend it by holding down the message, choosing more, and then putting it in the trash. You can unsend emails too. I know Android's had this for a while. Go into settings, look for mail, and at the bottom choose undo send delay. You can give yourself 10, 20, or 30 seconds before that email actually gets sent. Ever get an email you can't respond to and forget about? Well, swipe right to mark it as unread, or, and I love this, choose Remind Me in an hour, tonight, tomorrow, or another time. You will get a reminder notification that you should respond. And finally, if you'd rather hear a website than read it, tap the two A's next to the address bar in Safari and choose Read Page. Siri's voice will read anything on that webpage.
With a lot of tech gadgets,
Helpful when you're busy doing something else. It works on any website, but again, only in the Safari browser.
And these are all for iOS 16 and later. And remember, iOS 17 comes out in a few months, so we'll find even more iPhone secrets. That's What the Tech. I'm Jamie Tucker.
No, I learned some things. At the start of every football season, teams come into camp with a chip on their shoulders in one way or another.
News 12 Sports Director Dan Booth joins us now to tell us what's driving the Harlem Bulldogs after having a 10-win season last year.
Harlem's coming off a region championship winning season, which included an 8-game winning streak along the way. But if there's one thing we've learned about football over the years, it's sustaining success is easier said than done. Now, when it comes to what Harlem was able to accomplish last year, they finished 2022 with a 10-2 overall record and a playoff win. 2022 seniors from last year's team graduated in the spring. And even with all that turnover, the Bulldogs did have plenty of underclassmen see the field last year, which gives them the chance to carry that momentum into 2023.
Complacency breeds failure. We can't just let one good season put us in a mindset that we don't have to work to get better. And I think it's just about not just having one great season, but trying to build a program that's going to sustain that level of success.
After a couple of tough years, Harlem is back on the map, and the Bulldogs will kick off the new season on their home turf against the Greenbrier Wolfpack on Friday, August 18th. That's it for sports. We'll be right back after this quick break.
Helping people with lawyers at all nines. We have the experience to help you get the money that you deserve.
Well, this thing you see behind us is called a sail drone. It's a high-tech unmanned vessel that goes into hurricanes to record and measure data for meteorologists to use.
Pretty cool. These things are equipped with cameras that show us just how intense a hurricane can get. You're looking at video from Hurricane Sam in 2021, Hurricane Fiona last year too, both Category 4 hurricanes. And look at,
This makes me dizzy, and I get seasick really easily, and I would hate to be on that. I know it's unmanned, but that'd be terrible.
But yeah,
But it's
it
really
needs
cool,
to be unwilled, for sure.
Unwilled.
Pretty crazy stuff those things are able to capture, and really useful data that goes into weather models that we use to help forecast hurricanes better, and they kind of go into those places to where man's not supposed to go, right into the eye of those things. So it was tough to get kind of a scale of those waves there from the sail drone, but intense weather those things can actually make it through. So really thankful we have those now to help forecast those systems. Now we are getting close to the peak of hurricane season over the next couple of months. We got some pretty rough weather heading our way the rest of this evening and to tonight. Check out this bowing on this segment of this severe thunderstorm line that's pushing across Clarks Hill Lake. That's where we're looking at the potential for wind gusts maybe up to 50+ plus miles an hour. So that's getting close to Clarksville Dam and dropping into Edgefield, Columbia County next, and then we're going to be next in line here in Augusta. So over the next hour, hour and a half, that's when we're expecting the worst of the weather to be for us here around the central CSRA. The only active severe thunderstorm warning is portions of Hancock County. That part of that line is getting close to Sparta there in central Hancock County. Not severe for other portions of the CSRA at the moment, but they're just below severe limit, so not ruling out that we see a warning or two for the rest of this evening. As far as the forecast goes, if you are going to be out and about, I would expect heavy rainfall over the next couple of hours, even into portions of tonight. Cannot rule out some lingering wet conditions. Tomorrow looks better though. Friday, not expecting quite as much rainfall. Can't rule out a quick morning shower, but looking a little bit drier into the afternoon. Temperatures do look to stay below average again tomorrow. Warming up though into the weekend, highs back into the 90s, and a few storms possible each day this weekend.
All right, thanks, Riley. Stick with us. We have much more news, weather, and sports coming up after a short break on News 12 at 6 o'clock.